Hi everyone, I welcome you to another interesting edition of I Choose You. You know how we do it. Each and every week we bring you this wonderful life transforming story. And this week it is so important that we treat a very, very vital issue since we all live in this world and we know how COVID-19 has been charged. It looks like it has forcefully taken charge of our lives. So we have to delve deeper and then get to learn one or two things and get to know what exactly to do before the borders are open. Because as it stands now, the other countries like UK, US, Spain, and the rest are beginning to like losing the restrictions. As we speak, some airlines have started flying to Frankfurt, to UK, and then all of these places. And then also the English Premier League is about kicking start. Like they've players have started training, and very soon the league will fully resume. Ghana Premier League is also planning to. They are planning to play behind closed doors. That is not having the fans at the stadium. Some actually want to have the fans, but then they are looking forward to testing them and all of that before they make their ways to the stadium. So it means that we have to psych ourselves to live with COVID-19. How risky is this? How scary is this? Because personally, it looks like you are seeing a danger out there, but then you have to go out and live your normal life. My name is Christine Jaka, and I welcome you to I Choose You. And like I keep saying every week, if you're still not following us on social media, please do. On YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook is I Choose You Talk Show. On Twitter, you can find us on at I Choose You Talk 1. And today I have two very intelligent people. You know, mine is to talk, but then they calculate, they do all sort of me. If you give me the calculation, I cannot do it. So I have two wonderful people, Dr. Vanessa Mensa Kabu, and then I also have Dr. Kundo Wisdom from the Upper East region. Dr. Vanessa is right here in Accra, so she'll tackle the issues at the southern sector, while Dr. Kundo Wisdom tackles the issues from the northern part of the country. So without much ado, I would like to welcome my guests. Hello, guests. If you can all hear me, I welcome you on the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, let me start with Dr. Kundo Wisdom. He attended University of Ghana, did his medicine right here, and then was at Achimota Hospital and all of those stuff. I don't know the technicalities, but then I'll try. Maybe I'll try. So right now he's currently at if I'll get it right, at the Ayam Foya Memorial Clinic. He's the medical superintendent there. And I'll leave him to do a deeper introduction of himself. But then, okay, so Dr. Kondo Wisdom, if you can take us further into who exactly Dr. Kondo Wisdom is.
Okay, thank you very much. I think much of the introduction has been done. So yes, I'm in the Upper East region of the country, and I'm the med sup of Ayam Foya Memorial Clinic. Yeah, so just that about myself. Yeah.
Okay, so that's just about himself, but this is family right here. Dr. Kundo Wisdom is family right here. We all grew up under the same roof. But then another time, I think we're going to delve deeper into that. Let me quickly move to Dr. Vanessa. Dr. Vanessa schooled in China, came right down, did a bit with our hospitals here, I think Kolebu, and then she does a lot of like she's an activist, and then also is so much into the women and the children health affair. So Dr. Vanessa, I welcome you once again, and I want you to like take us deeper. Initially she was single, she was Dr. Vanessa Atikwi, and then now she is Dr. Vanessa Mensa Kabu. So Dr. Vanessa, by the way, how has married life been?
Wow, Christine, interesting. Well, married life has been good. It's been worth it. Well, it has its challenges, but all in all, we just thank God for the blessing of being married. And well, it is as it is. We're still young in the marriage, and we're young to explore and experience greater things together. So yeah, but it's been good. It's been very good.
Okay. So
Yeah.
in my introduction, what did I leave out? Would you like to add up to the
Uh,
introduction part?
well, I think you basically got a bit of it. I schooled in China, returned in 2015, did my house in Kolebu Set 7 Hospital. I worked on in Legon Hospital, but now I'm into private practice. And yes, I do a lot of women and child health education as well as public health education, because that to me is my passion. I like to educate the public on their health, because when it comes to health, insurance really is not blessed.
Yeah, yeah. That's why we are here today talking health and then talking coronavirus. So, Dr. Wisdom, let me start with you. Can you give us like an insight to this whole, what exactly is this whole coronavirus about?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. So, as the name goes, coronavirus, it's a viral infection. But the thing about this viral infection is it's transmissible. So when you get it, you can transmit it to another person. Now, we all call it COVID-19, COVID-19. It has a meaning. It's a coronavirus disease. The first case recorded was in 2019, so the meaning of the 19 is 19. Okay. And this virus, the specific virus responsible for this is the SARS-CoV-2. Now, if you can remember in 2002, 2003, there was this viral infection in the eastern part of the world where close to about 8,000 people were infected. It's somehow related to this one. So this virus mainly affects the respiratory tract and sometimes the gastrointestinal system. New current research and updates shows that it could actually be systemic, affecting so many systems. So this virus has been pronounced as a pandemic back in, I think that was March 11th, and we are with it, and we have to find our way to break the chain and reduce, as the experts would say, to reduce the curve, and I mean, so that we don't lose a lot of people. Yeah, yeah. So in short, it's a viral infection that when I get it, I can transmit it to you. Now, it's important to note that the main mode of transmission is droplets and fomites. So when I have the infection, I have the virus, and I touch something, and you also tag that thing. If the virus is still alive and is viable, you can also get the infection. Especially now, we call certain parts of the mucous membranes, where the mucous membranes are our eyes, our mouth, our nose. These are let me say places that can easily get the virus can get attached and get into our system. So this about the virus. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so Dr. Vanessa, now let me come to you. I think a lot happens when we come in contact with an infected person. Can you quickly take us through that process in case one comes in contact with an infected person? When would you know that I have this coronavirus, and what exactly transpire between this period, like between the period?
Okay, well, so with viral infections such as the coronavirus, when a person gets in contact with someone who has been infected and happens to also infect themselves or get infected by the already infected person, what happens is there is an incubation period for the virus, which takes about 14 to 21 days. I think now it's less. So within that period, most patients tend to be asymptomatic, meaning that they have no symptoms or any signs and symptoms of the virus. However, after a few days, a person then starts to become sick. We also have to bear in mind that there are certain comorbidities that may make patients get sick faster than another person, such as if you're elderly, if you have certain diseases such as diabetes, or if you're asthmatic, or if you're already unwell, it tends to make you get the virus, or it tends to affect you more severely as compared to someone who is quote and unquote healthy. So when you get the virus, what happens is it gets into your system, and then your body in its own way tries to fight any infection or any virus that gets into your body. So you tend to have certain symptoms such as the fever, you tend to have certain symptoms such as the cough or sneezing. These are your body's own way of trying to get rid of the virus. And when that happens, that is when the signs and symptoms tend to show. So it means that at that point, you are showing signs and symptoms of the coronavirus or any other illness that you may have. So in that instance, it's your duty to go to the nearest hospital. Ideally, you're supposed to call in first, let them know that you are having these signs and symptoms, upper respiratory tract infection kind of symptoms, so that they can prepare. Because now that we have coronavirus amongst us, it's a high alert. So any patient who comes in with an upper respiratory tract infection or symptoms of an upper respiratory tract infection, such as cough, fever, sneezing, earache, or even throat ache, it's a suspected case in quote until you are evaluated, you are tried, where they would ask you certain questions. Have you come into contact with anybody who has been unwell? Have you come into contact with anybody who has been diagnosed of coronavirus within a certain period of days? So the reason you are supposed to call in before is that they prepare a certain area for the patient so that to limit the contact. Because if you just walk into the clinic without prior informing the hospital that you're going into, it tends to even expose more people, because at that point, you're not aware if you have the virus or not. You are only aware until you have been tested.
All right, so still on you, can you then quickly tell us the condition at the southern part? Like, how has it been so far?
Well, currently in Ghana, Accra seems to be the epicenter for the virus, considering we have the majority of cases, and this is where basically the virus started before it spread out in the other parts of the country. So in the southern sector, we have a little over, if I'm right, 4,000 cases currently, out of the total over 7,000 cases we have in Ghana. However, there have been significant amounts of recoveries. Majority of the patients are being treated at home, depending on how bad or how severe the virus has affected them. And well, so being treated at home, it means that they are checked on, they are isolated and quarantined at home, and then a health practitioner goes over to go and then check on them and then does testing for them, evaluates them. But some of them are also being managed in the intensive care units and also the isolation centers in the hospitals because of maybe other comorbidities or other conditions that are surrounding them.
Okay. Okay, so Dr. Wisdom, let me come to you. You are currently at the Upper East region. Can you just give me a brief roundup, like on the current situation there at the northern sector?
Okay. So fortunately to say, we those are the, like when we say northern, we are looking at the savannah, the northern east, upper east, and upper west. Our numbers compared to the national number is very, very small. I think we make up 1% of the whole, all the cases in the country. And the system we have here is that when you, as in the south too, when you come in and you are suspected, you are kind of isolated until we get a confirmed result that you have the COVID-19. Then we have treatment centers. Usually where I am in the Upper East, we have the regional hospital as a treatment center. So that you refer your cases to an ambulance system. So the person doesn't join any means of transport, just any. So the ambulance will take you to the treatment center where you are treated. So far, you're doing well.
I think, let me come in a bit. The ambulance system alone cries what is scaring some people. You know, last I was standing outside and an ambulance was passing, and someone said, Yeah, bet you us and yeah, what we are. They're like if they are coming if they are coming to pick you up, as if you've stolen something and police are coming to arrest you. Then the ambulance will be making noise. So don't you think there's any better way we can go about that?
I think Vanessa will agree with me here. That I think is the best way because um, if we actually to use your like looking at the northern part of the country, we a lot of people don't have cars. We use motorbikes here and
Mm.
bicycles. You can if you ask someone to go to the regional hospital, let's say from one part of the region, um, getting to that place, even if it is another condition, mostly poses as a problem. So with this system in place, is the best. Is the best actually. It's good we have the ambulance, and it's not just any ambulance. They are trained. This service they are well trained how to handle so that you actually they don't end up infecting themselves or others. So I think it's the best system so far. I don't think of any
Okay,
other
so
way.
I think viewers, if you are watching, please don't get offended. The ambulance is coming to pick you up. Some people, that's just the main reason they run away. If they are doing contact tracing and they come to your area or they come to your house to pick you up, don't think you're a criminal or anything.
No,
This COVID
no.
is dangerous than the ambulance you are going to send them to the hospital. So it's for your safety. Okay, Dr. Wisdom, I leave you to Dr. Vanessa. When one contracts this virus and they get cured or like they are able to battle through, does that affect their system in any way? Does their cells become like that? Does the cell become weak or whatever?
Yeah, thank you very much. This, as we said from the introduction, is a viral infection. Um, so your body initially, as Dr. Vanessa was saying, you are to pose your body will automatically pose a defense system to this viral infection because it's a foreign thing entering your system. Now, after you, let's say you recover, I'm fast forwarding it. After you recover, what you, depending on the stage in which you were, some research shows that yes, there's a reduced, we call them the white cells. These cells are the ones that fight, but there's a reduced white cell count, especially what we call the lymphocyte. They are the ones that really fights viral infections, but it gradually goes up with time. Okay, so it's at the end you don't have your system battered so much that your immune system is reduced or you are someone less than you were. The good part of this is that now that there is a foreign thing in your system, you are able to your body produces what we call antibodies against this
Mhm.
foreign thing. So in your arsenal of defense, you have something to fight it when it comes again. But that is also under research. You know, not everything about this novel virus is known. Research is still being done as to whether these antibodies in your system will help fight it aggressively as it should for other infections, or if when you have it, you can still be succumb to the infection. We don't know conclusively now. So you don't lose your immunity. You are better. To my perspective, you are better when you contract this infection and you recover. You don't get any lesser than you were.
Oh, okay. Okay. I think that's very interesting. We actually thought that maybe when you contract the virus and then you come back, it looks like say you 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 are not like you used to be. But then Dr. Wisdom is saying that there's nothing wrong with you. You come back to the normal human being you used to be before contracting the virus. Now, Dr. Vanessa, there's a way we love to answer phone calls, especially in Ghana. We love to put the phone on our ear and talk. That's basically it. And we also have heard that phones really, the surfaces of our phones pick up this virus um, very often, like more than your dress or anything else would do. So can you quickly let us know how we should go about this whole phone calls and all of that, especially when you go to the market, how they just use the phone, they don't even sanitize it and all of that.
Well, Christine, thank you. So it's true that yes, comparatively, we tend to have more infection or the virus on as compared to other surfaces, because we handle our phones much more than anything, basically. Every single time we're on our phones, which is why we encourage the hand hygiene or using an alcohol-based hand rub or sanitizer. It's important that in this period, you have to be really on high alert. You have to really be on high alert. You have to make a conscious effort to be able to clean your phones, to wash your hands, because you don't know what surfaces you have touched or where you have been, and or who has been there prior to you. You go into an office, you go maybe to a restaurant, or you go somewhere else, and then you put your phone on the counter, you put your phone on the desk. You don't know what your phone is going to pick up at that point, and you get a call and you forget that you have to clean your phone, and then you put it on your ears, or you pick it up and then you start handling it. So we all have to make that effort of cleaning our phones, especially when we're in town. Before you pick up a call, try to clean the screen or clean around the phone before you answer your call. If you can, use earpieces, but it's the same way. When the earpiece is in the phone, you leave it, you also have to make that conscious effort to clean that earpiece. So everyone just has to be very conscious of their surroundings and to wash their hands with soap and the running water. Use an alcohol-based hand rub, and also clean your phones if you need to use it. And as much as possible, if you're going to a place where you don't necessarily need to use your phone, or you are not getting a call urgently, try to keep your phone in your bag. It even prevents theft, because if you're in the market and you are moving around, if you're not getting a phone call, just keep your phone in your bag or in your purse or in your pocket or wherever, until maybe you get into your car or you get into the transportation that you're going to use, in order to minimize the infection from the phone, or minimize your handling of the phone while you're in public, basically.
Yeah, I think that's very, very important. People just carry their phones around for carrying sake. Sometimes they are just leaving home to go and buy something across the street, and they have to
Exactly.
carry their phone. So please know how you use your phone, so that will reduce the spread of the virus. Dr. Wisdom, we have people, like I personally have friends who feel that, oh, Ghana, the figures we are mentioning is too much. Like, it's so crazy that we think we have such um, coronavirus cases in the country. And people still don't even believe we have coronavirus cases. They still keep insisting that we show faces of infected persons. What do you have to tell these people?
Okay. So currently, as we speak, I think Ghana, we have about 7,600 and something,
Yeah.
or even rising. And
Yeah.
the numbers are just increasing. But what we have to take note of is that initially, when this virus came into the system, we didn't have what it took, because the test kits, the number of test kits and all that. But it's over time that our health system is trying. But if you are at home and you think these numbers are just figures that we are conjured, then I think you are doing yourself a great disservice, because um, to my perspective is that this even doesn't show you the true reflection of the number of people in the country who have the infection. They are more than this, but this is the number that came to us and are confirmed as positive. Now, if also at home you think this viral thing is a fluke, it's some fake news, it's not true. I think see we there are systems put in place that demanded a lot of money from the government, and the people are doing changes and all that. If it was a fake thing, or if it was not true, all the amount of money, now we are debating about our election and all that, all this wouldn't have come. It's something that is true. It's something that is taking lives. It's something that people are dying out from. And until you lose someone very close to you to coronavirus, maybe it might not hit you as hard as it should. So coronavirus is real. It's around. It's with us. There are people who are confirmed, and I mean, so you go through it and come out, you will not really have believe that the virus is around. But I can tell you of certainty, it's not a fake news. It's not a lie.
So, Dr. Wisdom, does that hot water therapy thing work? Because the other time I went to work and I felt that I was having some funny sensation on my chest. And actually, people who are watching, don't judge me. I know that a lot of us have suffered from coronavirus in our minds. So is it like the mindset that, so when I go home, I was like, okay, I think I need to heat my water and take it as soon as possible so that if the virus is on my chest, it will burn it or like push it down or something like that. We all have our own, I don't know where we got it from. So does it work? Does the hot water therapy work and all of that?
Okay. So about this hot water thing, I think it was even there before this viral infection, this coronavirus thing came in. But now that the virus is in, people are intensifying the hot water theory. But most of them, it starts from the fact that they say the virus is heat labile, as in when it reaches certain temperatures, the virus is not able to live. So with the hot water, that's the heat from the water. It will kill the virus in your throat, in your mouth, and I don't know where else they expect it, in your stomach. Okay, but the virus, it takes to about 56 degrees Celsius to die, and they all don't die at that temperature. It's some number of the viruses that will die at that temperature. With time, when they are exposed to about that temperature, that's when they die. But humans as we are, our mouths were not fashioned to take extremely hot temperatures. You eventually burn your mouth. So I don't go with the theory. That's not a cure to it. Because how long would you continue drinking hot water? Would you drink it throughout the whole day? Because after drinking that hot water, if you cause any scalding to your mouth or your throat, you're actually prone to getting infected quicker and easier and faster when you come up in contact with the virus. So I think these things they are myths. They are things that do not really have scientific grounds. So hot water is not a cure to coronavirus. Drinking hot water is not a cure to coronavirus because it's as simple as it is. That's what I have to say about this.
So please, we didn't say don't drink. But then the way you are thinking that is what will kill coronavirus, I'm sorry. Today we are being enlightened. Dr. Vanessa, can you give us like local staffs that probably when we take will help, because we heard of Sobolo and then all of those things that all of a sudden can kill coronavirus.
Oh, thanks, Christine. So I'll just add on a little bit on what Wisdom said concerning the hot water and its effects before I answer the question. So the hot water, in effect, as he was saying, it's not a cure for coronavirus, and your body cannot handle such high temperatures, and you'd end up with scarring in your mouth. Also, what is done is that it helps to soothe you if you are having maybe a nasal congestion. We all know that when your nose is congested, which is a sign and symptom of the coronavirus, and you inhale some steam or you put your head over a bucket, it just helps to soothe and then decongest your nasal cavities. That doesn't mean that it's a cure for coronavirus. Just like when you have a common cold and your nose is very congested, you have to use certain mints that would help ease the congestion and then help you breathe better. So they are more of like a conventional means of helping to soothe a patient who has any viral infection such as the coronavirus. So in terms of our foods, well, there are certain foods that would help boost our immune system. I don't know of any foods currently that is a cure. As we all know, there isn't a cure for coronavirus. So if someone tells me that, oh, take this food and it will cure coronavirus, well, I am not going to endorse it or say that it is true, but there hasn't been any proven food that says that, okay, take this and then you'll be cured of coronavirus. However, there are certain foods that tend to boost our immune system, just so that when you acquire or you get the virus, your body can fight it better. So foods such as our daily meals, adequate intake of vitamin C, adequate intake of irons, these are foods that would tend to help boost our immune system. The contumaries, oranges, fruits, have a lot of fruits. Take in a lot of fruits. I know that we as Ghanaians, we don't we don't take fruits in our diets. We don't have fruits as our daily meal, although we have quite a majority of fruits in our country. It's time that we start adding that to our diets. It helps to create a balanced diet for each and every person. After you've had your lunch or your breakfast or your dinner, have an orange, have a mango, whatever fruit that is in season. Now we have oranges, we have mangoes, we have watermelon in season. Take that. It would help to boost your immune system. It would allow your body to stand and be able to fight whatever infection that may happen to you. Viral infections are not treated, they are treated conservatively. When a patient comes into the clinic with a common cold, until we are sure that maybe there is a secondary bacterial infection, we usually do not even give the patient antibiotics. What we tell them to do is to have enough rest, hydrate properly, eat well, and then it's basically what you do as a whole, because your body is able to fight any viral infection that comes into you. What happens is the severity and usually secondary infections that happen that tends to break us down. So it's important that when you are eating, make sure you are eating a balanced diet. Your carbohydrates, your proteins, your vitamins are all essential. Fats and oils are all essentials for you to have a balanced diet. Fruits are very important. Hydration is also very important. We don't like to drink water. Try as much as possible to drink lots of water. And if you can, take some vitamin C, some supplement vitamin C in your diet. And I think that it should help with boosting your immune system. As for the cure, we are all waiting for the cure for coronavirus. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Vanessa. Before I take your final words, I think we've heard the foods and stuffs to eat. We have the mushrooms and all of that. We have the yoyi too. I learned is very high in vitamin C. That doesn't mean that it cures coronavirus. So until there is an official cure or from the World Health Organization, we cannot say that we have a cure for coronavirus. Now, before I let you go, Dr. Wisdom, can you give us your final word on what exactly we are supposed to do at this time, especially now that we are going to be living with the virus for some time?
Okay, so most of these things have been said earlier on, and we know them. The issue about it is adhering to them. The social distancing, the face mask wearing, the sanitization of your hands, being careful to actually, the end result is breaking the chain of infection. These are the main things that we have to do so that we don't get the infection. There's a controversial thing that I say all the time, and when I say people don't, they kind of, they are not happy to hear it. The fact of the matter is that if you don't take time, we all will get this viral infection. But it's about the time. We don't want to overwhelm the systems that are there. And we don't want to we don't want to be the host that would help transmit this viral infection to another person, as in someone who is immunocompromised. So what we are asked to do is to just break the chain, try as much as possible to slow the spread. That's what my advice to all of us is. The government has put in so many things, so many systems. Let's adhere to them. When they tell us not to go out, let's stay at home. Let's just adhere to it. I mean, it's just for a time. Everything that has a beginning has an end. And let's remember, let's remember to pray. We are not only medical people or physical people. There's a supernatural aspect of our life. So yeah, let's take that into consideration. Okay, so those are my final words.
Wow. Dr. Nessa, your final word, and I want to just give a big shout out to all the frontliners. I want to salute all of you. You put your life out there, you risk it on our behalf, and they are just saying that stay home if you don't have anything to do. I still see people sitting around, people not minding social distancing and all of that. So before I take Dr. Vanessa's final word, I just want to say that let's respect every measures they put in place so that we'll stop the spread. It's for our own good. Dr. Vanessa, your final word, but I would want you to also take it from this angle. Does it put pressure on your relationship because the work used not to be like this, the workload used not to be like this?
Well, well, when you say put pressure on my relationship, you mean my marriage? Or what?
Yes, because probably
Oh,
the time you're supposed to go out and the time you spend at work now is more and all of that.
well, I wouldn't. It does, and then it doesn't, because my husband is actually very understanding, and I
The
mean,
frontliner, yeah.
yes. So,
And
and
viewers, he's a frontliner too. He's an army officer. Yeah, we salute you, Mr. Mensah.
he's a frontliner too. So I think at the end of the day, it's just all about the understanding you have with each other. As for the pressure, it's just about discussing whatever the issues are and being understanding, like I mentioned, and adhering to the protocols that have been set in place, ensuring that when you come home from work or wherever it is that you have been, your hands are washed, you take a shower. And I think it's something that each and every person would have to practice, whether or not you're married. Even if you are living at home with your family, it's important that when you head out and you return, you should wash your hands, just so that you don't put your family at risk. Each and every person should be able to adhere to protocols. The protocols are there to ensure that we're all safe. It's a matter of just adhering to them, making sure that you go by these are things that we practice ideally, but it's something that we have to do a lot more than we used to, making sure that each and every person is safe, is healthy, and because you don't know who has a comorbidity or who has an issue, and you wouldn't want to be the cause, like Wisdom said, you wouldn't want to be the reason why someone has the infection. You don't know what comorbidity the person has had. Maybe you would have had the virus and you're probably asymptomatic, or you're probably dealing with it much better. But whoever you may infect, or whoever that person may also infect, might not be able to deal with it just as you are dealing with it. You probably have a good immune system, but then the person that, or the chain, it's all about breaking that chain. We all have to ensure that things are done properly. And please, if you're listening to news, make sure that the news is from the right sources. There's so many information flying around, but not all is right. It's almost like sieving or picking a needle from a haystack. You have to be able to ensure that the information that you're getting is from the right source, and try as much as possible. If you know that the information you've received you are not sure of, make sure that you get the right information before you transfer it to another person. So, because you don't know, someone is probably not listening to what is going on, and whatever information you are giving them is what they would go by. So make sure that whatever information that you're giving to people, or whatever it is that you're telling the next, is true and nothing but the truth. Get the right information, get the right source. There's so many sources. The Ghana Health Service, media, they're doing a good job. They're platforms to ensure that the information that is being put out there is the right one. So listen to the news, make sure that whatever it is that you're getting is the right one, and adhere to these rules and make sure that we are all fine. That's just about it.
That's just about it. Thanks so much, Dr. Vanessa and Dr. Kondo Wisdom. It's been another, let me say, educative one today. We've picked a lot of lessons from it. Personally, I'll stop thinking that I have coronavirus already. Anytime I come back from town and then I'm looking for hot water to drink and all of that. Please do not hurt your throat, because they say that you rather leave yourself prone to more dangers when you have the virus. So let's just say goodbye to our viewers. But before that, please, if you want to, Dr. Vanessa, can you put your IG there if they want to follow you?
Yes, my Instagram at it's ITS_YEEYEE.
Okay. It's Yeye. If you also want him on Facebook, it's Wisdom Kondo. then you
Yeah.
can be able to send your details. And then I told you it's Yeye as for Dr. Vanessa. And then if you have any further questions, I would encourage that you just send it into their inbox and they will attend to you. So just follow us also. Follow us on YouTube. It's I Choose You Talk Show. On Instagram, it's I Choose You Talk Show. And on Twitter is I Choose You Talk One. On Facebook is I Choose You Talk Show. On this note, my name is Christine Jaka again. And please join me. Let's say bye-bye to our viewers. So
Bye.
goodbye. Stay safe.
Stay safe.
Bye.